Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to tackle something super important: how to navigate the world of gold IRAs without falling for the scams that are popping up everywhere trying to get a piece of your retirement savings. All right, here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll look at why gold IRAs seem so attractive in the first place. Then, we'll pull back the curtain on the very real risks involved. We're going to break down 5 of the most common scams out there, give you a solid game plan to protect yourself, and wrap it all up with the one key takeaway you need to remember. So, first things first, why all the buzz around adding gold to a retirement plan? What is it that makes it so appealing?
Well, a gold IRA is basically a special kind of retirement account that lets you own tangible assets. And I mean literally, physical gold bars and coins. For a lot of folks, it feels like a smart way to diversify beyond the usual stocks and bonds. To have something solid to hedge against inflation or a shaky market.
Okay, but here's the thing. Whenever an investment gets this popular, the scammers are never far behind. The whole space has become a bit of a minefield, with some pretty sketchy operators looking to cash in on people's financial anxiety.
And this isn't just a hypothetical problem. We're talking about huge sums of money. The Texas Attorney General recently went after a company for scamming senior citizens out of more than $185 million. And they did it simply by charging ridiculously inflated prices for the metals they sold. In fact, this has gotten so bad that federal regulators like the SEC have put out specific warnings. See, scammers love these self-directed accounts because they know the custodians, the folks who hold the account for you, have a very limited job. They aren't there to vet your investment. They won't tell you if you're about to buy overpriced gold from a shady dealer, which gives the whole scam this false air of legitimacy.
All right, let's pull back the curtain and look at the specific plays these scammers run. Because once you know their playbook, you can spot them a mile away.
We're going to walk through 5 of the biggest tricks in their book. Charging insane markups, trying to upsell you on so-called premium coins, hitting you with hidden fees you never see coming, using aggressive sales tactics, and maybe the most dangerous of all, the totally illegal promise of home storage. So, the first giant red flag: ridiculous markups. Look, a normal markup on gold bullion should be somewhere in the 5 to 10% range. But the SEC found one company that was charging people markups of up to 130%. Think about that. You're paying more than double what the gold is actually worth, right out of the gate.
Next up, and this is a big one, if a salesperson starts pushing rare or collector-grade coins, your alarm bells should be ringing loudly. These things often carry huge premiums that have nothing to do with the gold content. Their value is totally subjective, and get this, a lot of them aren't even allowed in an IRA by the IRS.
And then, of course, there's the classic high-pressure sales pitch. You know the one I'm talking about. They try to create a sense of panic, talking about an imminent market crash or a limited time offer to get you to act fast without thinking. A legitimate advisor would never do that.
All right, now for what is maybe the most tempting and dangerous scam of them all: the idea that you can legally keep your IRA-owned gold in a safe at your house.
Scammers market this so cleverly. Who wouldn't want total control over their assets, right? It sounds amazing. But here's the catch, and it's a big one. It is a serious, direct violation of U.S. tax law.
They'll try to sell you this complicated workaround involving something called a checkbook LLC, making it sound like a smart legal loophole. But let me be perfectly clear. The IRS has said again and again that this doesn't change a thing. The physical metal must be in the hands of an approved third-party trustee. Period.
And this isn't just some dusty rule in a book. It has been tested and confirmed in court. In a key case, the tax court ruled that as soon as an individual took physical possession of their IRA-owned coins, it was the same as cashing out their entire IRA. Just imagine the tax bill and penalties on that.
And it's not just the government saying this. Even the industry's own watchdog groups are practically screaming from the rooftops, warning everyone that any dealer promoting home storage is putting their customers in serious legal and financial jeopardy.
Okay, so now that you know exactly what to watch out for, how do you actually protect yourself? Let's build your defensive playbook with some clear, simple steps.
When you're picking a custodian, you really need to zero in on these 4 things. First, vet their reputation like a detective. How long have they been around? Any complaints? Second, you have to demand a totally transparent breakdown of all the fees: setup, annual, storage, everything. Third, check their account minimums. And finally, make sure they have customer support you can actually get on the phone. And on the flip side, here are the things that should make you run for the hills. Any kind of high-pressure sales tactic, any offer that comes to you out of the blue,
anyone pushing those collectible coins, and be really careful with promotions for free silver or bonus gold. Trust me, it's not free. That cost is just hidden in the inflated prices you'll pay for everything else.
So after all of that, what's the one thing you absolutely have to remember to protect your nest egg? Let's boil it all down.
Look, at the end of the day, no one is going to watch your money as closely as you will. Your best, most reliable protection is simply doing your homework, taking that extra time to research custodians, to compare prices, and to understand every single fee before you sign anything. That is your absolute best defense.
So we'll leave you with this to think about. Walking into that conversation armed with the right knowledge and the right questions doesn't just make you a smart investor, it could be the very thing that protects your entire financial future.